Hello and welcome to Alex Builds, and today I'm going to be showing you how I built this, my outdoor kitchen and pizza oven. So this is a bit of a project I did in summer 2024, started in about July and finished in about October. So this isn't one of those how-to or guide videos, but I will show you all the steps I went through and how I problem solved all the challenges. And there were plenty of challenges to be overcome because, as you'll see, there are some quite complex elements to this project. Usual rules on this channel apply: DIY skills, working on my own, completely made up design, all the cock-ups left in.
What an idiot.
Now, ordinarily you'll find me working on this, which is a massive vintage barn built on DIY skills, which has been ongoing for about 4 years. And of course, once you've enjoyed this video, you can binge away on all 32 episodes so far. But getting back to the current project, this is how far we got in episode 1, where we built the base. And in episode 2, we made a load of progress with the pizza oven, but ended up with an absolute fiasco, which we're going to sort out in today's finale, episode 3.
So I suppose the good news is that the problems I've got are all kind of roughly in the same area. So first of all, whenever I leave this open, the heat just pours out. No good. Problem number 2 is that the chimney's letting too much heat out at the wrong times and I can't control it. And problem number 3 is that this open area here doesn't have any sort of lip. So the smoke that comes out of here will go up the chimney there. But as you can see, it also comes at the front as well. Not as badly as this. This was just because of the amount of stuff I was burning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix all 3 at the same time, which means basically taking quite a bit of this front section out. Hopefully, obviously not affecting the back section, i.e. not letting it fall down, I hope. I'm hoping I filmed me knocking that out. Maybe I didn't turn the camera up. You know what, it's actually still warm in there. It's a day later, by the way. One useful thing is that this section from here came out relatively intact. So I'm going to use part of that at some point soon, I think. Okay, so this is the oven door, which I haven't got yet, but I've got a technical drawing. I'll have to estimate a couple of bits. So I'm just about to cut this out to give me a template for it. Okay, there you have it, to the best of my knowledge. That's the shape I need to create, which will be the inner part of the frame of the door. Hope so anyway. Right, just a couple of bits and pieces. So these are the ones that I extracted before. These are fit. Obviously I don't need to go all the way over and I don't need the big depth anymore. So that gives me something to work to there, to lay these bits. Haven't quite decided if I'm going to do the chimney here or bring it forward a bit. I'd like to bring it forward. This might be a little bit too much effort. And then I have this new template, which is going to sit here. This is the shape of the oven door. So basically I've got to fill these areas here and here. It could be quite awkward, but... Right, what do you think? A little idea here. Rather than just trying to put big cuts in there, I've made these little slithers of fire brick. I mean, obviously when I put them in I can get them all lined up nicely, but it could be quite a nice effect. You won't be able to see much of it, I should just say, because a lot of it is going to be hidden behind the lip of the oven itself, but I think that's a goer. This has had a couple of days to dry, which it has. Very solid indeed. I've given the flue a bit of a clean. Now, this here is a damper, and I'm pretty sure you can retrofit these into existing chimneys. Nice noise. Right, I see we can go either way, up or down. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. That's my working footwear. I've just discovered it does fit through there. Zuka on Alex Builds. Can you see down there?
Nice comment here from Craig. Is it Surgener or Surgener? He says he loves the videos, but he seems to get the greatest joy when I point out the cock-ups. Sounds like he's enjoying them perhaps a bit too much. But anyway, we are going to zoom in here to Biloxi in Mississippi. Anyway, glad you're enjoying it, Craig, and I certainly will crack on. Thanks for watching.
I'm not setting this in yet. I can clean this up, and by the way, I have got some stove paint coming because I've got a small chimney extension. One of the other things, by the way, I didn't mention this about things that have not gone right, is that bloody stink of smoke all the time. It keeps blowing in the house because it's quite breezy. In fact, tomorrow very stormy. So yeah, that's actually coming. I think more of a charcoal grey. So I'm going to have to spray paint it all black anyway. So a can of stove paint coming. Right. Okay. I'm basically back where I started now, which is fine. But I have got this sort of inner lip now with which to set the door, and apparently the door is turning up in the next hour. I thought I'd been let down by a supplier, but I haven't. Well, let's wait and see, but I'm told I haven't been. Right, come on, think what the hell it could be. It's not. I believe the oven door has turned up. Oh, for fuck's sake. What's wrong with these people? Ugh! Right, I really do want to test this thing. There's a few ways I could do it. I could just use a bit of cardboard, but I want to use the glass in the window. So no, it's not been snowing, so I'm just going to use a bit of insulation and to see if I can get the thing going like this. Okay, this definitely fits into like the aesthetics here. I've decided it might be quite nice to have a bit of oak up the front rather than having too much brick. So I'm just going to attempt to trim this very thick bit of oak, obviously another leftover from the barn.
Now, while I'm just in the process of cutting off my fingers or hands, maybe you could use your fingers to click the like or the subscribe button. It really helps the channel and would be greatly appreciated.
Right, that's gone well. Usually I get a little kind of mismatch in the middle, but this one fell straight off. Right, following the unproven success of this piece of oak, I'm absolutely going to use oak for the insides of these frames for the doors, and also I'm going to continue the whole oak lintel, whatever you call it, the top section, rather than doing another course of brick. So I'm going to go down and have a look at what wood I've got available. Right, all the dark coloured ones are oak. These are rafters waiting to happen. I think I've got this nice big long one here, which I can easily slice down the middle, sort of splice it. Right, I've brought this up with the event and I'm going to saw it here. You might be surprised how heavy this stuff is. Don't think of like pine or whatever. Oak is seriously dense. Right, these are potentially a little bit easier to work with. Now, the one thing I'm not happy about with these frankly pretty expensive doors from Viva, well, I've been to the help desk engineers several times and they basically came back at the end and said, no, we can't fix it, you can have a £25 refund, which I accepted because I just couldn't be bothered. But I mean, pretty poor. Always a moderately satisfying moment coming up. Bloody rain again. edge just looks too sharp now. So just okay, so I'm not doing the electrics yet, but this little junction box in here is where there is a supply coming from the house, somewhere over there. So the only bits actually connected here are the blue to blue, brown to brown, and yellow and green to yellow and green. So that's blue is negative, brown will be live, and that'll be the earth. But this is sending the electricity down the garden to the other end. Now I am going to reconnect this differently at some point, but this is now going to be my primary live supply. So I just need to work out which end of those two is live from the house. Everything's off at the minute. So as an initial test, I've just wired up the existing supply down to the gardens at the end. Very careful here. Oh yeah, that's good. So we've got a little light in the front, and I think you can just see it, we've got lights down the end of the garden. So as a rather temporary measure, I've got the mains going into that switch with the LED, which is I've just connected up to a plug, which means I've got an outdoor power supply, which is where the orange is going to. Plus a bit of phone charging, if I so require it. Right, I think I've come up with a plan what I'm going to do with these work surfaces in the oak. So I do like this oak facing here, and it looked lovely with that test lighting. So what I'm going to do is, these work surfaces, I'm going to talk to you about this later on. I've bought some absolute crap, basically, because I can't find the granite I want, and it's hideously expensive. So I'm going to put in some laminate worktops, which won't last. Right, I'm around here on the back of the house, and I'm going to reveal now the grubby secret of the build, and it's this. When I bought laminate, I thought it would be on some sort of plastic compound, not chipboard like this. So this has got no prospect of surviving outdoors, which is why I'm going to quite a lot of effort in a minute to sort of like mask it in oak. Here it is. My beautiful quartz stroke granite worktop. Trust me, no one's going to know, all right? If I can do this right. Okay, so I'm just putting this on just to get a feel for it, and remember there's going to be some beaded oak where that worktop lips forward. I mean, nothing lines up at the sides, it's not supposed to at the minute. But I think we're onto something here, I have to say, I really do. Alright, we've got a long way to go, but I do feel like we're a bit on the home straight here, do you know? Those oak sections giving you a feel for what the final thing is going to look like, and it's nice, really nice. But there's still just loads and loads of fiddly jobs to be done. Slicing a little section out of this. You can buy wood like this sort of section, but not oak, which is what I want. And a highly uncharacteristic bit of finessing. I've got this really nice lighting, it's like in a little strip, and I need to create a little channel. This is the underside of this piece. I bought this router ages ago. This is before I realised I needed a chain mortiser for the barn. That's another story for another day. But I've got a load of router bits. The thing I seem to remember though is it didn't like the oak at all, but I was trying to gouge out huge holes, so hopefully this will do the job. Okay, a bit wonky, but it didn't lip out the front. That would have been annoying. So while I had the router out, I thought, well, I need to get wires in. So I did another channel, almost comical. God, it's like a children's wooden game, isn't it? Because I just need to get wire from one end to the other, and I don't think there's going to be room around the back. So this is this new super groovy lighting I've discovered. Now, right, you ready? Yes, look at that. That really is bloody, even this light. It's a zinger. Right, a couple of things I bought a while ago making a comeback. I had the router earlier on. Here's a bit I thought I'd need for something on the barn. I think this will do. I'm just going to do a single screw, one of these, into here. It'll be enough to hold it.
Regular viewers of the channel will know that me, oak and drill bits have got a bit of form.
The Bosch hammer is smoking. Okay, great start. Need the Bosch hammer for that. It's my own fault. I should have drilled a pilot hole, truth be told. Okay, got away with it. Don't do that again. I'm going to take a larger hole for this first of all. Quite nice fit actually. Let's go to nice. So I've hooked up all 3 sets of lights. I have got a dimmer switch, but I'm not trying that yet. Let's see if I can just do it off the mains power. Yes! Oh, that's good. That looks good in the daylight, never mind the night. Just need to even it out a bit. Right, it's the 1st of September, Sunday. I've got the whole afternoon. I've been camping, which means I'm quite tired and I smell of smoke, even more so than this. But a great time with some good friends. Shout out to Robert, because we were talking about the channel. Anyway, I'm going to attempt something today I've never done before, and that is render. So this section here you see here, as I've said a few times, is not going to be exposed. It needs a layer of nice render. So it's basically a layer of cement, from what I can tell. As usual, I'm learning off YouTube.
Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee from Skill Builder.
Good old Roger.
A lot of people
We like
ask,
Roger on this channel.
What's the best mix for rendering? And that may even be why you've arrived at this video.
It is.
Well, it's one of those questions. It all depends. It depends. So we make a nice 6-1-1, we call it, which is 6 parts of sand. Now the sand that you need to use is plastering sand or rendering sand. It's not building sand. Do not use building sand for rendering because it shrinks and cracks and it's a nightmare.
We're not doing rendering today. I didn't know that. Nice packaging, nice products. Quite delicate when you get it open. However, yeah, there we go. We're getting there. This time we've got the frame, no glass, I don't think. I mean, I've got the glass from the old one. Right, here we go. Next issue. So door frame, no glass, got spare glass, we'll sort that out. Doesn't fit. So
Okay, to cut a long story short, I trimmed it, it didn't fit. I tried to knock 1 or 2 out and then they all fell out, so I basically had to start over. Things then got progressively worse. I put these drill holes in, which I had to line up with some holes I made in the door frame, and I was trying to use these anchor bolts. You can see me knocking them in, which you then bolt in. I just could not get them to bite, and the end bits kept falling off. I mean, basically this took me most of an afternoon.
again, this is just proven to be so difficult. This whole entrance thing has taken up a crazy amount of time on this job. So I've just gone back to roll plugs. What's the problem with the roll plugs? They're plastic and they're going to melt whatever. However, I'm actually going to be heat proofing this area. I'm going to be using, I mean, that's a fire brick first of all, so it's not going to massively conduct, and I'm going to be using some of this fiberboard to insulate that area. So that's what I'm going to do, and if I get a bit hot and melt, that's fine. I mean, look, we'll just have to play it by ear. I think it will be fine. I'm not sure today was quite meant to be. God, here we go again. Okay, so we've got to finally get these doors fitted. We've got woodwork, we've got the rest of the brickwork, we've got rendering, we've got electrics. I've got a weekend pretty much free. We're in September now. Come on, we're on the home straight. Let's get this thing done. Comes that problem in a minute. Good, actually. Right, I'm quite pleased with that, actually. It's gone in. I've screwed it into the back. It's not a final fix. I need to do a load of sealant and all sorts on it, but that's good. So I just need to focus now on this final edge, which again, I'm going to sort of clad up with oak. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get away with this, but the plan is to put this on to match that. I mean, it's going to look rough. Well, not rough, it's because this is like not coloured. This will, you know, get stained by the water and, you know, look the same colour as that in time. But anyway, let's see what it looks like as a start of 10. Yeah, not bad. It's just gone a little bit high on this side here, but I can easily sort that out, and I will. But the main bit is that the chipboardy bits, as opposed to the laminate, none of them are exposed in this. I am going to put some waterproof on them as well. It looks pretty good. By the way, Vivor update. I said to them, the doors are different from this and that. I've got no door handles and there's a massive dent. They replied, yeah, they are different design. We'll send you the handles and we'll give you a £20 refund. They've already given me a £15 refund for the fact the doors don't match. I couldn't be bothered. I just said, yeah, all right, go on. So there you go. I think if I keep pointing these things out one by one, I might actually make more money from them than I spent in the first place. Okay, so this is the grill area, slightly neglected. Okay, to start with the base, I mean, I could just put it on the concrete, but I'm not planning to. I'm going to use these fire bricks. Obviously, I need to cut little half ones to go in there. Basically lay these out. Forest. Sieving this stuff, but anyway. We'll just brush it in. Look, it gives the bricks a bit of a clean as well. Right, I spent a bit too long looking at this. I think I'm not entirely sure about the final design and height, but I think that's going to be the height of the first grill, sitting on those two courses of fire bricks. So I'm just going to get those in because it allows me to do the next bit and I can then revisit what I'm going to do next. Now, I've run out of sand, and the problem is the sand I get delivered around here is like dark red in appearance and it makes the mortar go pink. I need yellow sand, so I went to the big B&Q, Home Depot, as you'd say in the States. And when I looked at the sand there, it's exactly the same colour. Oh, it's like half an hour there. Anyway, as I went down, I thought I'd just check everything they've got, and they had this kiln dry sand. So it's a bit expensive. It's about 4 times the price. This was £76 for 10 bags. I could have had a bulk bag delivered for the same amount of money. So anyway, look, it is what it is, but it gives me enough to crack on because even though it's raining hard, I want to finish the brickwork today. Right, massive load of mortar done. I haven't actually used it yet, but this dry sand's really nice to work with. It mixes really well. So first of all, I'm going to finish the brickwork. It's all a bit of a mess at the minute, all around the side, and just finish off version 1 of the grill area. 1 hour later, it's not looking good. The good news is that the water is flowing off the worktop to the front, as I planned. Okay, so I've had a go at this. I mean, it looks a bit rough. I should be able to tart it up at the end. I am concerned about something. It's not so much this new sand. I think I've overmixed this. I've done it too strong, too much cement. It's looking very grey, and I'm not sure if it's going to match. Oh, God. I am absolutely soaked like a drowned rat. Well, we have to wait for tomorrow for the big reveal. There you can see a little bit poking out under those tarmac bags there to the right. But I think I've broadly finished the brickwork. I'm happy with most of it, but not all of it. Right. This really is happening. It's render day because we've got both the material, and by that I mean plastering sand, some sort of sand I've got anyway, and the weather. Whew. This is what I've actually been given, is wash building sand. They assure me it's the same thing. Right, so I'm going with Roger from Skill Builder. He says 611, 6 sand, think this is right. 1 cement, 1 hydrated lime, which I've got left over from the barn project. I've been keeping this inside, so should be okay to go in. Well, I think I've mixed this up okay. One thing for sure, looks too wet. I'm not going to sand it down. I'm just going to give it a go. It's going to start towards the back. We're using this. Using like that, I think it is. Right, let's not run before we can walk. Let's do a slightly flatter bit. Okay.
Well, the way I've been holding that trowel there clearly isn't right. I'm about to figure it out. So we've got another admirer of the cock-ups here. It's Kevin in Romania, who says it's a refreshing change from those super slick American builds. What you mean, like professional? Anyway, Kevin is watching from a cabin, and his nearest town is Brazov in Romania. Thanks for watching, Kevin.
Do it. I've remembered. Of course, they use the board, don't they? Right, there we go. So, there we go. All right. Use one of my cutouts. Okay. I mean, the thing is, this is like the scratch coat. I mean, it's all right. I think. I mean, it looks like a relatively flat layer of cement at the moment, which is what it needs to be. So, I'm going to carry on with that. Well, I still need to go over it. I mean, it looks all right. I haven't finished it, but anyway, let's try this front section and see how that looks. Right, just doing a second load of mortar. Don't need the same amount again, but a bit. Very difficult to judge. I mean, a massive Swiss roll. It's nice, looks okay. But, you know, the way to judge it is what it will look like after this. This is a scratch coat. And also if it cracks or stays on, I can't judge that. Right, to scratch a scratch coat, you need a scratcher. I don't know if that's what it's called, that's what I'm calling it. So we're basically going to create a key for the next coat, whatever that's called. A little bit drier, to be honest with you. Right, that looks really good. In that, it looks just like those videos I watch where people have scratch render coat. Excellent. Should a cast iron oven door, clearly designed for outdoor use, be showing rust after about a week and a half of being in? I'd say no. Not massively impressed. I think I'm going to get the paint on that. Right, just doing a bit of oak cutting. So I'm going to do something very similar on the back here that I did down here. So I'm going to basically route out something underneath that, and then that will give me the ability to put light underneath it and just set it down a little bit. I am definitely not including this in terms of how I put this together, because if I say it's not a cooking channel, it's most definitely not an amateur electrics channel. But I've done a small consumer unit here. This is one of the outputs here. As you can see, it works. That would be the beginning and the end of Alex Electrics. Right, as I've said, I'm not really covering the electrics on this project, but just to show you what we've got. A small consumer unit, got that mains feed which I can isolate at the bottom, a 12 volt converter and a dimmer sitting downstream at the 12 volt. and that supplies the outdoor lighting. Can you see that? That's back on again. I've also got, obviously clearly not installed yet, another set of outdoor lighting I'm just testing here, which is supplied by an outdoor plug around the back. Okay, so just a final bit of woodworking. So this is the bit of oak that sits on the very top. Obviously it's upside down. There's a light sitting behind that little lip there. But I've basically routed out an area here, not massively well. I've put two sort of bars down the back. Just means that I can attach it to the back of the wall and also just gives it a bit of stability. Just need to crack on. It is September the 27th, 28th. We're nearly in October, just in time for Christmas. That's no bad thing, because I will be using this for roast dinners and stuff, so that's not a problem. Actually, it just occurred to me as well, still haven't got those handles from the supplier. I will have to chase them up. Right, am I getting away with this? I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that's done, nowhere near done. Anyway, I'm going to do the other side and get up on top and then think about how I can finish it off. I think it's a bit like when I do the mortar between the bricks. It's almost worth not messing around with it too much until it's like gone off a bit, and then you can do stuff with it quite easily. I've got a feeling this is going to be the same. Okay, so I've got all the render on. Obviously it looks a bit rough. We're going to do the next stage when it goes off. Slight problem though. Definitely rain coming. Whilst I've been waiting for something to happen to the render, can you spot something? Yeah, look, here we go. I have cut these tiles. Now I was going to go for something more flamboyant, but I couldn't see anything I liked and I just didn't know if it was going to work. I think they work well. Right, it's the next morning. I don't think I'm in shot, but again, you don't need me. And the reason why it's the next morning is that the advice I was given is that it should be hard and you can not quite leave an indentation but not rock hard. I think this is. It looks a bit sandy on the outside, but last night it was still really soft. So I've got this here and it's a plasterer's float, and in theory I can go over this thing to sort of smooth it out. Right, that's done. Now, if I had paid a builder to render my house like this, I'd probably be calling trading standards. But for a dome type thing on a rustic style oven, I'm very pleased with that. It's the first week of October and I'm on the last push, I think. Door handles go in, paint the dome, respray the door and the chimney, bit of basic landscaping, festoon lighting, fit the grill area, and I think we're done.
Well, can you believe it? We've actually finished a project on Alex Builds. Really, really pleased with it. I thought the paint on the render came out really well, probably a little bit forgiving, if I'll be honest with you. The brickwork's super sharp, and I'm so pleased that I put the oak on. Also, I'm really pleased with the detail around the lighting. And here you see it here, not in nighttime mode, but a little bit dusky. That came out really, really well. Now, my vibe's a little bit more roast dinners, but I thought I need to show you a pizza on it. So there's a bit of evidence. Here I am mixing my own pizza dough. And then here we see a garlic bread and a pizza, which I made from it for myself and the kids, one each. And it was lovely. But for a proper finale, let's cook you a proper English roast dinner. Okay, I never have the energy when I'm cooking to film. But I'm going to put this piece of beef in, and I've got some stock and vegetables. God, this is not a cooking bloody channel, I know. So that's how I normally cook roast beef. It's only a small piece. Got a cauliflower cheese, just needs heating for later. I've got the batter for the Yorkshire puddings. What I do want to show is that I've got the oven super hot, still flaming, and I put the fat vegetable oil for the potatoes up the top. And within seconds it was like crackling and spitting. It's way too hot. That's the pizza shelf. So I've got it out, put the potatoes in, and so those are cooking away in there at the lowest sort of section and doing very nicely. I have to say I really like this shelf thing because sometimes it's going too fast, too slow. It's getting a bit slow there. So you just whack it up the top.
and then bring it down. So you've got super hot temperature up there, and by the way there's a pan if you can just see. You've got medium temperature in the middle where the thermometer is, and you've got not so big temperature at the front. This is good. This is a good tactic. I almost forgot to do my meter probe. Stick this right in the middle. Definitely going to be required with such a sort of random oven. That's in there. Okay, so we're looking good. This is the beef. It's got a way to go. I've got to tell you, it's so hot in there. I mean, it's saying ambient 216, but it's top shelf. I actually just don't think this thing is entirely right. Not because it's wrong. I just don't think it's taking the effect of like the radiant heat.
By the way, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that the oven door's not fitted. This was when I was using the oven, even though I hadn't finished everything, but I just thought the footage of this meal was a bit better than some of the other ones I did later on, so that's why you're looking at it.
1, 2, 3. There we go. I'm feeling confident. Oh, I wish I could film them. They look so good. The really good bit of having such a big oven is that, you know, you're normally worried about opening the door. You can just spin stuff round with this tool here. Just get it all nice and even. It's lovely. There you go. You can see it with my phone, my normal camera. Look at those. I mean, in 5 minutes, you can watch them rise. Yorkshire's the greatest thing to eat ever. Bloody hell. I mean, look at that. That is really, really good.
Again, I don't think the results really prove anything. And also the portion sizes are outrageous. Anyway, it looks good. That's what you need to know. Right, well that's a wrap for the Mega Q. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And as I've mentioned, I'm still very much in the teeth of building this enormous vintage barn, and the next episode is coming in a few weeks' time. So I hope you'll join me for that. In the meantime, if you could give the video a like or even subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. See you next time on Alex Builds.